Two homeless men are devising a plan to get free drinks at a bar. The first one has an idea. We'll buy a hot dog and stick it down your pants, walk into the bar, get our drinks, drink, and when the bartender asks for his money, you pull down your pants and I on the hot dog that you put down there. He'll kick us out and we won't have to pay. It's brilliant. The second man agrees, and they do this in the first bar, where it works just as planned. Then they hit up 4 more bars, and the first man says, "This is great, getting all these free drinks." The other man replies, "Yeah, especially because the hot dog fell out at the first bar." A dizzy blonde walks into police headquarters in downtown New York, hoping to join the force. The head recruitment officer decides to have a little fun and asks her a few questions. "Can you tell me what's 2 plus 2? 4, I guess. And the square root of 100? 10? Very good. Now tell me, who killed Abraham Lincoln?" "Abraham Lincoln? I don't know." "Well, why don't you go home, think about it, and come back tomorrow." That evening, she calls her best friend, who asks if she had any luck getting the police job. The blonde squeals excitedly. "Not only did I get the job, they already got me working on a murder case." Two old ladies are sitting on a park bench and enjoying a cigarette when it suddenly starts to rain. One of the grannies digs in her purse and pulls out a condom from its wrapper. She slides her cigarette inside the rubber and smiles. Now her cigarette won't get soaked by the rain. "Mary, where did you get that thing? It's genius." "They sell 'em down at the pharmacy, dear." The next day she heads down to the pharmacy. She's not quite sure what to buy exactly, so she walks up to the young lad behind the counter. "Excuse me, son, I need to buy a condom, for emergencies." The pimple-faced teen awkwardly asks, "Yes, ma'am? Any brand in particular?" "Oh, I'm not fussy. Whatever will fit a camel." It was time for Father John's Saturday night bath, and the new nun, Sister Magdalene, had prepared the bath water and towels just the way the old nun had instructed. Sister Magdalene was also instructed not to look at Father John's nakedness if she could help it, do whatever he told her to do, and pray. The next morning, the old nun asked Sister Magdalene how the Saturday night bath had gone. "Oh, sister," said the new nun dreamily, "I've been saved." "Saved? And how did that come about?" asked the old nun. "Well, when Father John was soaking in the tub, he asked me to wash him, and while I was washing him, he guided my hand down between his legs where he said the Lord keeps the key to heaven." "Did he?" said the old nun curiously. Sister Magdalene continued, "And Father John said that if the key to heaven fits my lock, the portals of heaven would be opened to me, and I would be assured salvation and eternal peace. And then Father John guided his key to heaven into my lock." "Is that a fact?" said the old nun even more curiously. At first it hurt terribly, but Father John said the pathway to salvation was often painful and that the glory of God would soon swell my heart with ecstasy. And it did. It felt so good being saved. "That wicked old bastard," said the old nun. "He told me it was Gabriel's horn, and I've been blowing it for 40 years. I noticed the pretty girl was looking at me on the train. I smiled at her and said hello. 'Hi,' she said, then asked me, 'Can I be completely honest with you?' 'Of course,' I said to her. 'Well, every time you smile at me, it makes me want to invite you back to my place.' 'Great,' I said. 'Are you married?' 'No,' she replied. 'I'm a dentist.'" A long-haul trucker stopped at a small roadside cafe for lunch. He ordered a burger, fries, and a slice of pie for the road. Before he even took a bite, 3 loud bikers stormed in and surrounded his table. The first biker snatched the trucker's burger and took a giant bite. The second biker grabbed his fries and shoveled them into his mouth. The third biker leaned over, took the pie, and ate it right in front of him. The trucker didn't argue. He didn't yell. He didn't even look upset. He just stood up quietly, paid his bill, and walked out the door. One of the bikers sneered and said to the waitress, "Wow, that guy isn't tough at all, is he?" The waitress glanced outside and said, "Tough? I'm not sure about that, but I am sure he just drove off and ran over 3 motorcycles." A man bets his boss $5,000 that he, the boss, has a pimple on his ass. "No way," says the boss, and accepts the bet. He opens his to show to the man. The man says, "It's too dark here. Move to the window so I can see better." The boss moves to the window. "Okay, you were right. There is no pimple on your ass." He gives the boss $5,000. "But why would you do that?" asked the boss, bewildered. "Yesterday, I had bet your colleagues $10,000 that today at exactly 3 o'clock they would see your ass through your office window." The blonde wife came home from her first day commuting into the city. Her husband noticed she was looking a little peaked and asked, "Honey, are you feeling all right?" "Not really," she replied. "I'm nauseated from sitting backward on the train." "Poor dear," he said. "Why didn't you ask the person sitting across from you to switch seats for a while?" "I couldn't," she replied. "There was no one there." A dinosaur, a spider, and a cowboy walk into a bar. All 3 sit at the bar and begin drinking heavily, clearly distressed. The bartender asks them what their troubles are. The cowboy takes a shot, then says, "My horse got loose, ran into traffic, and got hit by a semi-truck carrying gasoline, caused a whole big explosion, and blew my poor horse to bits." The spider nods sympathetically. "I just lost my husband in that same fire. The driver found him, freaked out, and crashed, trying to squash my dear hubby." The bartender is in shock, but finally asks the dinosaur his story. The dinosaur sniffed, took a sip from his straw, and said, "My whole family was on that truck." P.S. For those of you that didn't quite get it, here's the explanation. The dinosaur was referring to the gasoline as being his family, although gasoline really doesn't come from dinosaurs, which I didn't think about when posting it. A passenger train is creeping along slowly. Finally, it creaks to a halt. A passenger sees a conductor walking outside. "What's going on?" she yells out of the window. "Cow on the track," replies the conductor. 10 minutes later, the train resumes its slow pace. Within 5 minutes, however, it stops again. The woman sees the same conductor walking outside. She leans out of the window and yells, "What happened? Did we catch up with the cow again?" The son of a Saudi mogul goes to study in Europe. One night, the phone rings at the house of his parents. "Dad, how's your life going, son?" "Son, it's going well, Dad." "Dad, is something wrong? You don't sound happy." "Son, no, Dad, everything's fine. Berlin is wonderful. The people are nice, and I really like it here." "Dad, son, tell me the truth. I know something's not right." "Son, well, Dad, to be honest, I am a bit ashamed to drive to my college with my pure gold Ferrari 599 GTB when all my teachers and many fellow students travel by train." "Dad, my dear son, why didn't you say so earlier? I will send you more funds this instant. Please stop embarrassing us and go and get yourself a train too." A blonde got tired of all the jokes about her hair and intelligence, so she dyed her hair, got a makeover, and decided to take a drive in the countryside. She came across a shepherd with a big herd of sheep. "Sir, "If I can guess exactly how many sheep you have, can I take one home?" she asked. The shepherd chuckled, thinking it was impossible, but agreed. "You have 171 sheep," she said confidently. Stunned, the shepherd admitted she was right and told her to pick one. She carefully chose her favorite and started petting it proudly. Then the shepherd smiled and said, "Okay, now if I can guess your real hair color, will you give me my animal back?" She laughed and agreed. The shepherd said, "You're a blonde. Now, please give me back my dog." A new army recruit was on the rifle range. He fired 50 shots and completely missed the target with every shot. His drill instructor called him to attention and got in his face. "What's the matter with you?" shouted the DI. "Why can't you hit the target? What were you in civilian life?" "I was a cable TV repairman," replied the recruit, "and I don't know why I can't hit the target. Let me see." The man checked his rifle again, and then checked his rifle a third time. He then put his finger in front of the muzzle, pulled the trigger, and blew the end of his finger off. "Well," the phone man said, writhing in pain, "the bullets are leaving this end here fine. The trouble must be on the other end." A blonde who wanted to earn money decided to work as a handyman type and started canvassing a wealthy neighborhood. She walked to the front door of the first house and asked the owner if he had any jobs for her to do. "Well, you can paint my porch. How much will you charge?" The blonde said, "How about $50? The man agreed and told her that the paint and other materials she might need were in the garage. The man's wife, inside the house, heard the conversation and said to her husband, "Does she realize that the porch goes all the way around the house?" The man replied, "She should, she was standing on it." Soon after, the blonde came to the door to collect her money. "You've finished already?" he asked. "Yes," the blonde replied, "and I still had some paint left, so I gave it 2 coats." Impressed, the man reached into his pocket for the $50. "And by the way," the blonde added, "it's not a Porsche, it's a Ferrari."